Hi, Richo here from Composite ARF. Today I want to talk about stab halves, hinge pins, push rods, particularly for this lovely Extra 330 2.6 SC here and for some of the other CompArf range. The hinge pins on all of their models are generally aluminium. Now, I've seen some brass ones out there, you can use brass, but in general, Composite ARF use aluminium primarily because it's light. It's about 1/3 of the weight of a brass piece. But one thing you need to consider with this is it's a consumable item. It will wear and it will need replacing, and you should consider this as part of your normal maintenance, that you should check this and replace it. Now, attaching this is pretty straightforward depending on your stab half, but when it does go through the phenolic hinge plates here on the stab half, these little plates here, this phenolic material, it's quite abrasive and it can wear it. Now, I've seen people bush these so it's a little bit less abrasive. Standard item is pretty okay. There's no real drama with it, but it will wear. It's just part of what, it's a wear and tear item. So occasionally you have to pull a pin out, inspect it and replace it. Now, with mine, for instance, depending how often I fly it, can be anywhere between 6 and 12 months, but I'll pull it out, give it a lube, put it back in again if it's okay. If it needs replacing, I'll take it out and put another one. These are all available from CompArf and their spare parts, and they're not that expensive. But something you need to consider is, if you've got one worn, is how you're going to get it out and how you're going to hold it in place. Now, with something like the Extra 330 SC, for instance, it has an entry hole on both sides, so the pin can go right through. So if one breaks, you can push it straight out the other side, no big deal. Something you have to consider though, if you're building, say, like a Sukhoi, and also on some of the previous range of yaks, for instance, there was an entrance hole and that was it. There was no other hole at the other side. So you have to be able to get a hold of the pin to pull it out. Now on the Sukhoi here, I bent the pin over, flattened it out, drilled a small hole and attached it with a screw. This gives me something to grab so I can pull it out with a pair of pliers. And generally, either replace, lubricate, put it back in, or completely replace it. Now, as I said, I replace mine, and we're going to go to the trouble of taking it out because I think it's a little worn, and you can generally feel if there is a little bit of wear there. I'll pull it out, new set will go in, and away I'll go. It's just part of the regular maintenance. But as I said, the consideration on this one is there is only one hole in. It's got to go back out the same hole. There is no hole at the other side. If it breaks internally in here, it's a bit of a nightmare to get it out. Now, I've been able to get these out, and I'll guarantee you'll only do this once. You'll break it once and you'll never let it happen again because it's an absolute nightmare. I'll spare you the gory details of how you get it out. So consider checking these out every now and then. Bend it over the end, give yourself something to grab and pull out. Now, bear in mind, I've seen people use tape on these. This can only go one way. It'll hit the fuselage before it comes out. So even if it's just sitting there, it'll just touch the fuselage. But ideally, you don't want it scraping on your new fuse, so this system works quite well. Now, with the 2.6 330 SC, you've got the benefit of a hole on each side. So as I said before, if it does break, you can push it out. Regular maintenance is pretty easy. On these ones, I terminate them with these little plug caps here. These caps are an automotive item, which I buy from my local car parts store, and it's for attaching inner door panels and any kind of panels inside. It's got a little soft edges on it, like a little Christmas tree, and you just push it into place. So I just cut this down to the size I want, push it in there, and as you can see, it's got a lovely flush finish. It looks quite neat, and it's easy to do. It's not that difficult. Now, when it comes to push rods, CompArf will supply you some nice clevises, some really nice shouldered ball links, and some threaded rod. Now, this 3mm threaded rod works quite good. On this one here, you'll see I've got some brass tubing over the outside of it just to give it a little bit more strength and a knot on that. Is it necessary? Yes, I think it is. In my opinion, I'd like to put the brass across it, or you can use push rods. These are quite readily available from some of the aftermarket companies. This is a CARF one. It's got a right-hand thread on one side, left hand on the other. As you adjust it, either expands or contracts, pulls the ball links in or out. I've used these before, and I've also used the CompArf supplied hardware. All work quite well. On this one, you'll see that I have an alloy arm and the CARF turnbuckle. This is all went together quite easily. If you're going to use the threaded rod, my advice is put the brass tube around the outside of it. Most of the kits come with this brass tube already in it. If it's not there, just cut a piece and put it on. It's not that difficult, and the whole job will be a whole lot easier. So whatever way you choose, whatever way you want to put your hinge pin in, remember it needs to be replaced. Be prepared to be able to get it out and think about how you're going to terminate it.